What's going on, Buckeye Nation? Peter and Rob back with another video. This time, as you saw in the title, discussing the quarterback battle slash controversy going on at Ohio State. We don't really think that's a thing that's actually happening in reality. And we got some data points to back it up. Rob's going to come in with the heat, but we got data sets example for Ryan Day doing this each and every single season. Every fall camp, he is not named a starter before the end of fall camp, heading into week one. And Rob has that exact data point showing that this is the norm under Ryan Day and typically the norm in college football in general.
Yeah, I think the notion of there being a quarterback issue at Ohio State is very premature. You can't really measure the quarterback room in terms of who's going to start or there's going to be an issue in the middle of spring camp.
Exactly.
And so basically, you have years and years, well, ever since like Ryan Day has been there, he's named the starter quarterback at the last second. And, when asked after spring camp, traditionally said, well, this quarterback battle is going to go all the way into fall camp. And I just don't know. That's happened with Justin Fields. That's happened with CJ Stroud. That's happened with
Yep.
Kyle McCord. And that's happened with Will Howard. Now, more like I could point to a reason why, some fans are seeing this as an issue because just like we had Justin Fields, 2-year starter. So it's just like, okay, after year one of Justin Fields, it's clear who's going to be the starting quarterback. There literally is no battle. And then you have
Mhm.
CJ Stroud, 2 years, after his first year of success. It's like, okay, he's the clear cut starter. So now we're seeing a trend where, okay, after CJ Stroud, there's Kyle McCord, and Kyle McCord left. You had Will Howard,
Yep.
and then after Will Howard, the quarterback battle is wide open again. But, again, all those quarterbacks that I've named, they waited till the end of fall camp to name them the starting quarterback.
Well, that's
Uh,
the thing with even with Justin Fields' first year, it was clear to everybody that Justin Fields was going to be the starter. There was nobody else on the roster that had a legitimate shot of starting. And yet they kept the battle going on to mid to late fall camp. Will Howard is the exact same this last offseason. And Buckeye Nation's forgetting, rival fans are forgetting, trying to stir up this controversy. It's like Will Howard was not named the starter until the freaking opening week of the season, starting installing the game plan for that first game last year. People just can't get it through their thick heads that this is how Ryan Day operates. This
yeah,
is how, even with a clear cut, easy choice starter, he continues to deflect those questions all through fall camp.
yeah. And here's the thing: it's not necessarily bad that Day pushes these quarterback battles all the way to
Not
the
at all.
last minute because it embraces competition. I guarantee you, in the back of his mind, he knows who the starter is going to be, and he wants to push that starter to the brink so they get better and better each week, and that competition does not slow down. Another thing, I bet you
Precisely.
that he knows for a fact that Julian Saint is going to be the starter. And it's just like people are doubting Julian Saint. If you look at when he went to Alabama, Bill O'Brien and Nick Saban handpicked him, and I guarantee you that So you have the instance where Jalen Hurts transferred from Alabama, and he went to Nick Saban like, "Hey, where will I thrive the most?" And he's like,
Mhm.
"Okay." Nick Saban's like, "Okay, Oklahoma has a really good system. Lincoln Riley's the right guy to go to." And I guarantee you, the same thing happened with Julian Saint. He's like, "Hey, look at Ryan Day's system. You're a peer passer. You have the arm talent. They have the weapons. It's gonna work over there." So don't doubt Julian Saint. But again, I guarantee you, Day knows that Julian Saint's the clear cut starter, but he wants to push him to the brink until the end. But any more takes on that before I get into what a quarterback issue really looks like?
Well, something we talked about, pre going live with this video is the fact that Ryan Day did not dip into the transfer portal this season. Ohio State has a quarterback driven offense. If there was a legit concern at the quarterback position, darn tootin', he would have gone to the transfer portal again. That's enough evidence for me, plus the past evidence that we already talked about. But what about real quarterback battles, actual competition battles in camp, past battles that we can learn from the past? What about that?
I mean, I was more pointing to like, I mean, there's people like arms up in the air. We have a quarterback issue. You know, other fan bases. Oh,
Sure.
Ohio State has a quarterback issue. Because I mean, let's. I mean, for a fact that there's in actuality, Day has never had a quarterback problem.
Nope.
Uh, I mean, even with Kyle McCord, I mean, he was a the only thing with him, it's not that he wasn't talented. He just had a mental issue. It takes a special type of person to be the quarterback at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But here are where I spotted real quarterback issues. 2015, when Charlie Strong was the head coach at Texas,
Mhm.
leading into the their first game against Notre Dame, they had they haven't named a starter. You had Tyrone Swoops and you had Jared Hurd. They were both put in the game. They got separate snaps, and basically this went out throughout the full year, and they finished
Yeah,
at a 5-7.
they
That's
flip
what
flopped.
happens when you have a quarterback issue. And even 2023 Alabama, beginning of the season, Jalen Hurts got benched because he was just doing pretty awful. And then, you know, you had Ty Simpson come in, didn't do much better at all. And then you have Tyler Buckner transfer Notre Dame, just did terribly. And so it's just like in the middle of season when you don't have a definitive starter, just like those instances I named, that's what a real quarterback issue looks like. But we know who the usual fans. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. The usual fans are who are you know, yelling this notion, Michigan fans. And what I will say is, remember in 2022 when Jim Harbaugh had shared time at quarterback for Cade McNamara and JJ McCarthy. So pretty much the quarterback battle was in the first 2-3 games of the year. And you know what? Even look at last season. You know what? I'm just going to say it, 13-10. You guys beat us. Congratulations. But you guys had a quarterback problem. You guys played musical chairs and all the other stuff and didn't have a clear-cut starter until literally the middle of the season. And even, you know, you bench your eventual starter because it just wasn't working out. So just this notion of a quarterback issue is just outlandish. And you have to look at the history of quarterbacks that have been in Ryan Day's room.
Yeah, there's a rich history in Ryan Day's room, and it's it's really interesting. I mean, even last year, I remember during fall camp, there was consternation about the quarterback battle. And is Will Howard struggling? Is Will Howard enough to take this team to a title? Is he going to do it? You know, even from inside the Ohio State fan base, there was a lot of panic last year because there was negative reporting. This is just more of the same, man. This is just more of the
Yeah.
same.
And
There's
if you look at
not trouble in the QB room. Um, I don't buy into this narrative that was started in the spring and is continued now into the beginning of fall camp. I don't buy into this notion at all.
you know, going back to your point about Will Howard, he even went and blew away expectations, dude. I mean, it was
Mhm.
clear to me that this dude had tremendous growth, the will to win, and just showing what Ryan Day can do with quarterbacks. I mean, he balled out in that Oregon game, and he never looked
Both
back.
of them games.
And
Yeah.
especially in the playoffs, man, I don't think his QBR was below 90, and I think his completion percentage was 75% or higher. I mean, again, like the bar is like, okay, if you're at, I think, what, 65, actually no, 70% and above, you're doing great. So it's just like he
You're
he
doing really
blew
good if
away
it's 70, bro.
expectations. So Buckeye Nation, pump your brakes on worrying. You know, Day's gonna take care of it. Always have and always will.
Yeah, I'm not worried one bit. Julian thing is going to lead us on August 30th versus Texas. It's going to be a fantastic showdown. Cannot wait for that battle to show off to the world what he's got in front of the Buckeye Nation at the Horseshoe. Man, it's going to be great.
Also, you know, pointing back to Julian saying he did get an endorsement from Jeremiah Smith, the most talented
Yep.
wide receiver we've seen in quite some time. So basically, Jeremiah Smith said he's got the arm talent. Dude can make any throw. He's that guy. But people say, well, he gave Lincoln Kienholz endorsement. Yeah, he said he was a dog. He was a
Yeah.
great competitor. It's just like, dude, I didn't hear one thing about his arm talent, be able to make throws, or being that guy. A dog can mean anything. A dog could be like he's a fierce competitor.
Sure.
He's somewhat of a leader, but two totally different endorsements. So again, like my confidence is in Julian Saint due to the endorsement about the arm talent, be able to make any throws that Jeremiah Smith gave him.
The one concern that I did have over the summer about Sand was he was extremely tiny in the spring. It was very clear he needed to put on some weight, but I saw a picture of him just recently next to his teammates, and he looks considerably stronger, considerably thicker. And that's a good thing because he is going to take a pounding in the Big Ten. We play defense in this conference, and it is really encouraging to me to see him put on the appropriate weight. Because he's going to need to have that weight for this season. So that's going to do it for this one. Go Bucks, and God bless. We will see you on the next one.
OH.
IO now.